Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of All Hands, and it's Friday here on the cusp of a holiday weekend. So happy 4th of July to everybody as well. Hopefully you get a nice break and you're able to do something that you enjoy. Definitely. I think maybe I'll be hitting the beach potentially. We'll see. It's been quite rainy this week in New Jersey, so hopefully I hold off a little bit. But we are here. First off, shout out to Derek Harrison for sending me this Seekers technical shirt. They are a staffing and headhunting company that is focused primarily on the automation market. So if anybody is out there in the automation world and you're looking for a position or you're looking to recruit or hire, definitely reach out to Derek. He can be a great resource, and he's definitely trying to build that business up and also build his following here on LinkedIn too. He's very interactive. So give him a follow, check him out, and thank you, Derek, for the shirt. Always appreciate a good t-shirt, definitely. So this week we had a couple things going on. I was able to join a nice live discussion here on LinkedIn with Jeff Dickinson on Monday. We were discussing the warehousing world and just kind of a lot of what's going on in the market. Jeff is also in New Jersey too, so a lot of New Jersey going on here. But Jeff focuses a lot on logistics. He has a company called Railgistics, and he also has a lot of podcasts that he does, a lot of different things that he's a part of and things like that. So I was lucky to be asked to come on and speak with him. It was definitely a great conversation, and I think he has an incredible mustache beard too as well. So definitely check him out. He's a great guy, and we'll be getting him probably on our podcast at some point too, to have an interesting discussion there as well. We probably could have talked for 2 or 3 hours, I think. But we'll definitely put the replay of that and the link to the video in our newsletter today, so you can check that out. Additionally, on the audio podcast, we had one episode on Monday with Work, Mike Mikitka over there, who heads up Work, and we got to talk to him at the conference. I had a great conversation with him just about Work and their focus overall on how to help with the labor issues and how they're able to bring resources and information to people to get them interested in the warehousing industry, which I think is such an important thing to be able to increase that labor pool and get younger generations and different people interested in our world by being able to showcase kind of the growth opportunities and also some of the cool things that are happening too as well. You know, we love the cool and sexy things that are happening in warehouse here at the new warehouse. So definitely a great conversation. Check that out. And we also talked to Roger Sands at Ybot, which we've had on the podcast a long time ago. So we had a little bit of a follow up and also caught up with Ybot and kind of learned about how they've evolved and developed over a couple of years since we last spoke to them. And they do something really interesting using AI to help repair and maintain network infrastructure within your operation and your building for the internet connection, which is really great because we all know that drops within operation in the warehouse are potentially catastrophic and can take a lot of time away from your productivity, disgruntle your employees and get them frustrated with the system and your equipment. So we definitely don't want to see those kind of drops and dead spots, and definitely no loss of connection, especially with everything we have going on in the warehouse. So really interesting conversation there. As always, you can always check out the audio podcast anywhere that you want to listen to a podcast. We are there. If we're not there, let us know and we'll get there. Otherwise, you can check out the newsletter later today, and we'll have everything the new warehouse from the week within there, and that comes out right here on LinkedIn. So today's safety tip, I'm giving the safety tip today. So it's getting hotter outside. We're in the summer now, officially, right? June 21st, first day of summer. And one thing from my experience, actually, this is something that I learned. I out in New Jersey, right? So it does get definitely humid here, but not as humid as it gets in some of the other climates throughout the country and different parts of the world too as well. I was involved in a project where we were opening a new facility down outside of Atlanta, and in New Jersey we had no problem with the product that we were operating with, stacking pallets on top of each other, right on top of the boxes to hold fine, no problem. But when we started to do this new operation, it was in the middle of the summer, very hot, humid, definitely, down there in Georgia. And we saw after we started to inbound freight and we did the same type of stacking arrangement, the humidity actually compromised the structure of the cardboard boxes. It made it more soft, I guess, because of the moisture in the air. And we actually came in to the next day overnight, I guess some pallets that had fallen over because of this. So something definitely, being in a different type of climate and environment, something definitely that wouldn't have come to mind or thought of. So the safety tip is to think about, if you're expanding, you're going into a different climate, different area, you want to factor that into your plans of your operation, whether that means that in a hotter, more humid area, you're going to be looking at maybe some air conditioning costs, something like that, or rearranging the way that you stack or utilize your space. Very important to think about that thing, because obviously we were lucky in the sense that this was a brand new building, nobody was really inside yet, and this topple happened overnight. No one was there in the area, but obviously if somebody was there and working around that, something pretty terrible could have happened, as you can imagine. So we definitely want to be able to consider that and put that in your plans, all part of your kind of contingency plans, risk planning, safety planning, as you look at new projects and new operations in areas that maybe you're not as familiar with, and different climates too can be a factor. So that's the safety tip for this week. I'm curious if anybody's had some experience with that as well, going into different climates and some interesting stories there. But remember, if you want to share your safety tip, reach out to me. We're always looking for safety tips here for the All Hands series, and we're happy to share those. I think we get such a wealth of knowledge from other people in the industry. It's great to bring that here and share it with other people as well. So for today's main segment, we're going to look at kind of a conversation I had with AK Schultz of SVT Robotics back at ProMat, giving us the rundown of what they were showing off in the booth and some of the feedback as well that people were giving and questions they were asking. I think it's a great gauge talking to SVT, because SVT is involved with so many different automation robotics partners, WMSs now as well. They're really kind of that connector for so many things. They're almost a translator in a sense for being able to easily integrate things. And if you're interested in more in SVT, you can definitely check out episode 2 of All Hands when we went to their innovation center in Virginia there. So really interesting stuff, and definitely hope you enjoy the segment. And we'll be back next week with more. And if you're celebrating 4th of July, happy 4th of July to you.
Hey, it's Kevin with the New Warehouse Podcast. I'm here at ProMat 2023. I'm in the SVT Robotics booth, and I'm joined by the man behind SVT Robotics, AK Schultz. AK, great to see you again,
Great
man.
to see you again.
Definitely. So tell us a little bit about what you guys got going on here at the booth at ProMat.
Well, so we're doing live integrations today.
Okay.
What you see here, this booth is really from a software and a deployment perspective, no different than a live warehouse that we would do anywhere. We are hooked to the cloud.
Okay.
It is all we have multiple WMSs running. We're able to change over WMSs and swap out automation and show the interchangeability and the quick integration, right? So we are demonstrating picking as well as transportation applications.
Right.
And just starting to unveil an increasing number of partners that we have on the platform.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's interesting. We were talking a little bit before about how, coming on to the show is actually like a deployment in itself. So tell us about how the platform that you guys have created actually makes it easy to set it up here.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's really no difference between this and a live integration.
Right.
In fact, we don't even call it a demo. We call it a live integration. It just happens to be here. We have to do everything that we would do at a customer. Everything from creating the cloud all the way down to the on-premise devices and hooking it all together and making it work. And then we also have to do it. We also have to connect to some on-prem devices here, and some partners have cloud devices or cloud applications as well.
Right.
So all that that hybrid cloud on-prem has to be, resolved here. And we had a whopping 4 days to set it up before the show started. So it just, most companies don't do live demos because it's really hard.
Yeah.
We of course are crazy and decided that
we love the crazy.
we let's but there's really no other way to show the value. Just really show that this is not a puppet show. This is not a hard-coded demo.
Right.
This is how we would actually do it in the field.
Yeah. And I think it's so interesting because, like you said, what you're doing here to set up is exactly what you would do if you went into a client or a customer, right?
Yep.
And we saw that at the lab as well when we were there. So definitely that ease of use is there. And I think let's talk about one thing because, SVT robotics, right? Obviously, the thing that catches your attention is the robots moving around, the robots that are here. But you mentioned there the multi-layer WMS. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so one of the common problems we are in the industry right now is multi-tenant warehouses.
Right.
Where you'll have maybe a 3PL that has multiple customers in one warehouse running multiple WMSs. The problem there is there's no way to really justify the automation with one of the customers.
Yeah.
And heretofore, you were not able to have one automation system serving multiple WMSs.
Right.
So because the way the data comes down and we convert it into a common structure, like an automation system like 6 River really doesn't know what WMS is feeding the pick tasks.
Yeah.
It just knows it's receiving a task to go execute.
Right.
And when it acknowledges it back, it's not really doing it for a particular WMS. It's really just executing different tasks back. So this suddenly opens this door to an entire segment of customers that would have never been able to afford automation on their own.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you bundle it, suddenly it just opens up all these possibilities. I think the other cool thing that you get out of this is when you're doing upgrades, especially a major upgrade, you can turn on the new version of the WMS, and you can slide volume across, and then slowly peel off volume on the other without a whole lot of risk, and then you can slide that back and forth. So there's so many upsides to this. This also applies to other type of applications like WMS, but I think it just represents a validation for the whole concept of abstracting out the dependencies in the hard coding between systems.
Yeah, and I think that's such an awesome thing because I've been through some WMS upgrades and go lives myself, and it's kind of like you gotta switch the old one off, switch the old one on, and you just pray basically.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah. So the fact that you're able to kind of ease that in, and like you said, just transfer volume over, and then you can see okay, is everything good? Testing, right? If not, I guess pull it back. But if it's good, then push it forward. That's a great advantage for the industry to be able to do that, and I think could take some of that kind of scared feeling around upgrading and trying to pull something apart that's been held together for so long.
Absolutely.
So it definitely gives you that flexibility. So as we're here at ProMat, as people are coming to the booth, what are their kind of issues that they're coming to SVT with? What are they looking for? What's top of mind?
And so many issues that are catching up to us. One of them is a loud announcer in our booth. So sorry about that.
Fun. Yeah.
But you think about AS400 systems that are coming to maturity, there's an increasing risk. We can solve some of those problems as well by allowing companies to connect to modern technology and have an exit or an upgrade path from an AS400 outward once their supportability reaches an end. That's just one of the many applications. But what I think one thing that we should really think about is don't think about robotics as machines. Think about robotics as software.
Right.
Because really, that 6 River bot is really software that runs a machine, right? And same with most of these other applications, right? And so there's also robotics, which are software that don't have machines.
Yeah.
So it all is automation. It all requires data integration. And over time, I think we're seeing in our customer base an increasing footprint outside of the robotics into some of the ancillary enterprise systems like rate shopping and the like. That can harvest the same data that is being published for things like picking. Right. So you're harvesting the same data over and over again with one integration.
Yeah, I think that's really fantastic. And being able to, just create this comprehensive system that's able to allow you to just put all these things together and just make it so much easier. It just kind of reduces that barrier of entry into automation and robotics and just, upgrading your overall operation. So very, very interesting what you guys are doing with SVT. We always love to talk to you, and definitely interested to see how it continues to evolve and go into the future as well. So, AK, thank you so much for joining me.
It's always a pleasure.
If people want to learn more about SVT, how can they do that?
Well, so of course you can come to svtrobotics.com. What I recommend you do is sign up for App Directory, which is a comprehensive list of all the different partners that we have and all the unique combinations of applications that we have together. Right. So there's, I think, 400 unique combinations of technology deployments and solutions. And plus you get, there's also information that is there, like just videos on the product. And what we're trying to do is raise the awareness of the various technology partners that we have so that people really understand what solutions are out there for them.
All right, great. So thank you once again, AK.
Great meeting
and
you.
We'll definitely put all the information at thenewwarehouse.com as well. So we're going to wrap this up, and I think we're going to check out the demo and see what's going on.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks,
all right.
sir.